Okay guys, let's roll. I kind of got a script for this, having spoke to Sam about it. Gonna be tricky. I'll read it out, but it might get a little bit fumbly. Is fumbly a word? That's my mate out there in Ulster. Okay then guys, let's go for it. I'm going to read from a sort of script, but I'll interject with it. A couple of weeks ago, we put that video up, didn't we, saying about when the trouble kicked off, it would probably kick off in Ulster. And we found that channel, Freedom Dad, 37. And he warned about what was coming. And I tend to agree with them. Anyhow, let's get on with this story, some news I found. A second suspicious object has been found in North Belfast, just hours after a first device described as a viable pipe bomb was discovered and made safe. So that's two pipe bombs that were discovered, I think, yesterday or the day before. The initial alert was serious enough to require specialist officers and led to part of the area being cordoned off. Authorities have treated both finds as security threats and are presumably conducting investigations to determine who placed the devices, their nature, and whether they were live or functional. Now I've got a theory behind what is happening here. I think someone's got the band back together and they're just testing the waters, if you will, or testing security. But let's go on with it. Context and significance. The rapid succession, first a pipe bomb, then another suspicious object, naturally heightens concerns over public safety and community tension in North Belfast. This isn't an isolated incident. There have been other recent security alerts in Belfast involving suspicious objects. The speed with which the second object was found suggests either heightened vigilance by the community police or potentially a coordinated set of devices. Back in the day, they would let the authorities know where there was a device planted, because maybe they didn't wish to cause casualties, but they just wanted to show the security services that they could, if they would, a message, if you like. Now, I've done a bit of digging, and there's been quite a few incidents over the last 6-7 months around Belfast and Londonderry. Devices have been found. And now we move on. The police, likely the police service of Northern Ireland, have been involved. Ammunition technical officers were called to examine the first device. As with prior alerts, so now that we know there's been many, homes of properties nearby may have been evacuated or cordoned off as a precaution while the scene was secured. They've appealed for information. Multiple devices in a short space of time increased community anxiety and risk. Even if both were made safe, the potential for harm is real. Now, I'm starting to lean towards Republicans making these devices, whether they're making the devices to attack their old enemy. I somehow don't think that's happening. This could be sending a warning message to people born under a different sun, to the people of Ulster, that you really don't want to come to this part of the world. The situation underscores ongoing security challenges in Northern Ireland and highlights how fragile peace and public safety can be even outside the era traditionally known as the Troubles. Right, I've asked Sam now to dig up all recent suspicious object alerts in Northern Ireland over the last 12 months. Bear with me, I've got it going in the window. Yes, please. Right, Paul, I looked into reports from the past 12 months. There have been several alerts involving suspicious objects, pipe bombs or bomb-type devices across Northern Ireland, not just Belfast. Below is a summary of what's been recorded lately. Recent security alerts 24-25. 28th November 2025, Dunmurry, West Belfast, Lisbon area. A viable pipe bomb was discovered on Arima Drive. Ammunition technical officers made it safe. Brave men. Neighbouring properties evacuated. 13th of November 2025, Londonderry stroke Derry. Got to say that now. Derry, Londonderry. Okay, guys? I don't want those old conflicts to reopen. I really don't. We've got to be united on this one. And it was in the Glen Abbey Close, Berag Vale area, Skeog. Sorry if I murdered your language, boys. Feel free to murder the Welsh language. 2 devices initially deemed suspicious, later declared viable pipe bombs, triggered a major security alert. Around 2 dozen homes evacuated. Okay, that was the 13th of November. 25th of July, North Belfast, Crumlin Road area. 2 simultaneous alerts in North Belfast. A viable pipe bomb type device was removed. In Drogmore, an object was also removed for further examination. Police said they're investigating motives. So it's not just an isolated incident, as the police would have you believe. April 2025, near a tourist area, multiple pipe bombs and ammunition found close to areas frequented by families and tourists. Controlled explosions were used to make the devices safe. No injuries were reported. If there were no injuries, it's because they were never intended to be injuries. These are warning shots, if you like. Most recent, 8th of December 2025, today, North Belfast, Havana Court area. Suspicious object triggered a new security alert. Residents activated. Let me have a think, guys. Yeah, so frequency is noticeable. In the last 9 to 12 months, there have been multiple incidents across Belfast. Dunmurry, West Belfast, Derry, Londonderry, and even outside Belfast, Dromore. This suggests it is not confined to one small area. Still active threat. Several devices were described as viable, meaning potential capable of detonation. Could have had their firing pins removed and they just put the explosive there. Show that they could put a viable device there if they wished, but they've left out the detonator for safety reasons. Which underscores that the danger is more than symbolic. These are real explosives, not hoaxes. Risks to civilians and disruptions. Homes, sometimes many at once, have been evacuated. Areas cordoned off. Normal daily life disrupted. In the Cayville Castle Park case, it was near tourist-heavy and family-frequented areas. Had things gone wrong, civilian harm could have been high. We don't want to go back to those days, boys. We really don't. Potential for wider spread. The fact that alerts occurred in different types of areas, residential suburbs, city centres, outskirts, other towns, indicates that perpetrators, if organised, might have the capacity to strike widely, not just in one neighbourhood. The very fact that they are putting these devices in so many different locations is interesting. It means that this isn't just one guy. It's more than likely a group. It raises serious concerns. Suggests a renewed or continuing capability for planting viable devices. A few caveats. So far, the devices have been found and made safe. That's positive. Showing vigilance by police or restraint by the planters of the devices. I suspect it is restraint. There is no publicly confirmed large-scale coordinated campaign, at least in the recent reporting. The incident seems sporadic in time and geography. It is unclear whether the motive is sectarian, paramilitary, criminal, or something else. Yeah, so you've got a bit of a mix there. I'm hoping that it's not sectarian, I really am, and I don't think it is. I think it might be aimed at sending a message about the newcomers. Do I want them to check? Just show me images of pipe bombs and stuff like that. You don't want to see that, and if I showed it, well, they'd close me down. I can't say too much, guys. I was cleared to secret and I saw so many things. So I asked Sam then, have they any idea who was behind these attacks? Are they copycats, one man, or a group? Okay, I've already got my own opinions when I'm asking Sam these questions. Short answer, Paul. Publicly, the police have not named any individual or group as being definitively behind these devices yet, but there are strong working assumptions. Here's what's generally understood at this stage. Who do the police believe is behind it? PSNI have not identified a named suspect or a specific organisation. However, these devices are widely believed to be linked to dissident Republican activity, not loyalist groups, and not purely criminal gangs. Said that at the beginning. The main umbrella term police use is new IRA stroke dissident Republicans, a loose network rather than a single tightly controlled organisation. This type of pipe bomb construction, placement, style and targeting pattern fits their historic methods almost exactly. So at present this is being treated as organised paramilitary style activity, not random mischief. Please don't go back to the old ways, boys. Well, at least with the new alliance. Based on how these incidents usually work, very unlikely to be just one person, building multiple viable devices, moving them across different districts, avoiding detection repeatedly. That requires technical knowledge, safe locations for construction, transport, lookouts, or local support. That points to at least one small active cell, not a lone actor. Copycats. Possible but not the main driver. Yes, copycats can happen after high-profile alerts, but the consistency in device type and placement suggests continuity rather than random imitation. Most likely a small organised unit. Police thinking, based on past campaigns, usually looks like this. 2 to 6 people active directly, additional supporters providing storage, transport or lookout roles, often tied into a wider dissident network even if acting locally. What are they trying to do? Importantly, none of the recent devices appear to have been designed for mass casualty attacks like OMAS type operations. Instead, the pattern suggests intimidation, community destabilization, challenging police control, recruitment signaling, proving that they are still active. Yeah. They'll find plenty of volunteers. In other words, psychological impact more than body count, which is still very dangerous. Are police close to arrests? Publicly, devices are going for forensic examination. CCTV, vehicle movement tracking are being analysed. Intelligence operations are ongoing, but no arrests announced yet, which usually means they either don't yet have courtroom safe evidence or they are building a wider conspiracy case, not just lifting one person. Your concern is justified. I spoke to Sam about some concerns. Right now, the activity looks organised, persistent, testing boundaries. Yeah, I thought that they might just be testing the security services. They're not really, they're not kicking off. They're just warming up. see what the opposition is like. This is how past escalations began, quietly before anything dramatic happened. If you like, I can also explain how this compares to activity levels in the 2010s. No doom talk, no. I want to know where the devices have been planted. I want to hopefully rule out that it's not the sons of the IRA planting in loyalist areas or vice versa. Good question. The locations tell us a lot about the intent. What stands out is that these aren't random or spread evenly. They form a very specific geographic and social pattern. Here's a clear picture on what's been publicly reported. Main areas involved. I'm having problems remembering all the different areas outside the obvious ones like Divis Flats, the Falls and the Short Strand and that. Right, reported alerts around the Crumlin Road. That's loyalist, isn't it? I can't remember, guys, I'm so sorry. Caville, Belfast Castle perimeters. Recent Havana Court incident as per your original link. These are interface areas, nationalist/Republican districts near mixed or unionist zones, historically used for signalling presence, provoking tension, testing police response times. Right, Dunmurray, pipe bomb found in quiet residential estate, not a flashpoint area, meaning this suggests deliberate unpredictability, a way of saying nowhere is completely off limits. Also tests how quickly police can respond outside core patrol zones. Yeah, you can be a long way away in a couple of minutes in a fast car. Derry Scourge, 2 viable devices found near family housing. Dissidents here are more established. They show coordination across the city. Indicates communication between Belfast and Derry networks. Saying Derry, that's implying Catholic. This alone rules out lone individual. Dromore, small town outside the usual dissident core. Why it's significant? It's spread in the map tactic, forces the PSNI to stretch resources wider. Classic tactic when a group wants to appear national rather than local. It's really interesting. Really interesting. I'm thinking about the tactics and the strategy. Clever. Obvious but clever. The pattern in plain terms. When you overlay all location, the pattern looks like this. Core base, North Belfast. Secondary nodes, Derry and West Belfast outskirts. Outreach, signalling. Dromore. This is exactly how small paramilitary cells operate when reasserting themselves. Act locally, prove reach regionally, force security-wide response. What they are doing, which is important, they are not targeting city centres, they're not targeting commercial hubs, they're not targeting transport infrastructure or targeting political buildings. With all the CCTV and stuff like that around today, anybody who wants to be naughty is going to have to be very careful. Right. This strongly suggests it's not an all-out terror campaign, it is a graded intimidation strategy. This is about control, presence, reputation, not mass casualties, at least not at this stage, boys. And let's pray it doesn't come to that. The geography alone confirms this is organised, not random. North Belfast is the operational centre. Other locations show expansion and messaging. This is classic low-level destabilisation activity, not spontaneous copycat behaviour. Right. I think that's all I've got for you guys. I'm gonna release this now, and you can make of it what you will. What was that song by Thin Lizzy? The boys are back in town? Stop recording.